Now, streaming live, this is KSLA News Now.
Well, thanks for joining us. You're watching KSLA News Now. I'm Jeff Horchak. Well, parents and students are facing charges stemming from a fight in Arklatex High School. The Caddo Sheriff's Office says it happened this afternoon at Booker T. Washington right after dismissal. We're told at least one parent drove their student back to the school just to fight. Now, a deputy already at the school was able to end the altercation. The parents were charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor and interfering with school operations. The students were charged with disturbance and interfering with the operations of a school. Now, the students will also face school discipline. So far, the sheriff's office hasn't released how many people were involved. Well, Southern University in Baton Rouge announced plans to honor former student Caleb Wilson, who died in an alleged hazing incident a year ago today. According to the school, Wilson will be awarded his degree posthumously during the 2026 spring commencement. Now, the university remembering Wilson as a beloved member of Jaguar Nation. And at the time of his death, Wilson was a junior at Southern and a mechanical engineering major. Well, LSU's president says the university will comply with the state law to display the 10 Commandments in each classroom if and when the university receives the posters. The law requires the 10 Commandments be posted in every classroom of every school that accepts state money. By law, the posters also must be donated. Now, a university official tells us as of today, LSU has not yet received any donated posters. The law has been caught in a legal battle, and last week the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that it could actually go into effect because challenges to the law were premature. Now, critics say the law violates the separation of church and state. After a season of headlines involving parade injuries, a new Louisiana bill would bring consequences to float riders who throw beads too aggressively. State Representative Sylvia Taylor is proposing a bill that adds consequences for knowingly or negligently throwing an object from a parade float during a Mardi Gras parade in a way that could harm or seriously injure someone. Now, riders in violation would pay a minimum fine of $500. The maximum penalties include at least $2,000 fine and between 1 to 3 years in prison, depending on the severity of any injuries caused. Well, the Shreveport community gathered tonight to honor a woman who dedicated her life to serving others. Margaret Scott Shea Cole passed away Sunday at the age of 64. Earlier tonight, family and friends paid their respects during her visitation at Rose Neath Funeral Home. And funeral services for Shea Cole will be held tomorrow at 11 a.m. at St. Paul's Episcopal Church on Southfield Road.
And we have a beautiful weekend forecast on the way, but storms arrive next week. I'll have the details coming up.
Now, KSLA First Alert Weather.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night across the Arklatex. Looking forward to a nice weekend across the area, but then we got to talk about some changes heading our way. The big weather story next week is a big change in the weather pattern. We're going to see an upper level system off to our west. It's going to bring in a lot of moisture off the Gulf. So we're going to have several days of a southerly flow. That humidity is going to increase next week, and that's going to set the stage for the stormy conditions. Multiple rounds of storms on the way starting next Wednesday and then lasting for quite some time. Severe weather is possible with this, so check back for updates as we get closer. And we're in a high risk area here for some heavy rain from March 6th through March 9th. In that time frame there, anywhere in green, which of course includes the entire Arklatex, there's that potential for some locally heavy rain. And this is actually good news, though. We're in a drought right now, so we need some of that moisture. Notice, though, the weekend forecast still looking really nice. That rain chance really doesn't start to ramp up until later next week. So I'm thinking Wednesday, that's when the storm threat begins to increase for us, and that will continue through Thursday and into next Friday as well. So how much rain are we talking? Well, if you're north and west of the I-30 corridor, you could see as much as 2 to 3 inches of rain over the next 7 days. You work your way south, though, there's a tight gradient from northwest to southeast. So if you're south and east of Shreveport, probably not looking at a whole lot of rain, but that will likely change as we get closer. So check back for more updates. Tonight, though, is going to be a clear night. It's going to be a little bit chilly, so if you're out late, you might need the light jacket. Most of us will end up somewhere in the mid to upper 40s. Coshada down to 47, Shreveport down to 50 tonight, Texarkana 52, and Queen at about 44 degrees. Now tomorrow is going to be an amazing day, so get outside and enjoy it. Sunny skies from start to finish. We're going to have temperatures that are going to quickly warm up. Now, if you're out early in the morning, you might need a jacket, but certainly by the afternoon, shorts and t-shirts. We're looking at 77 by lunchtime and into the low to mid 80s for tomorrow afternoon. A little bit of a breeze out of the southeast at around 10 to 15, so a touch breezy, but it's still going to be a really nice day. And with all that sunshine, just get outside and enjoy it. Don't forget the sunscreen, by the way. That sun is going to still pretty strong, even though we're kind of early in the season. But look at those highs for tomorrow, low to mid 80s all across the area. And those 80s, they're going to stick around. In fact, the entire 7-day forecast looking very, very warm across the area. And notice by the time we get towards Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we start to bring in those storm chances. And we'll hope for some of that rain because we definitely could use some of that.
Definitely could. It's been 2 weeks since we've had rain, and we've been in a drought for months now.
Months now, so this will hopefully put a bit of a dent in that drought.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Thank you for watching. You can join us for our next newscast at 10 o'clock. Until then, stay connected with us right here on our KSLA News 12 app. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at 10.